Okay, it's so hot. It's so goddamn hot. I have a fan here and I kind of want to leave it on, but I know it's going to make a lot of noise, so I'm just going to suck it up and take the heat and just make this video. Hey pretty people, it's King George over here. Welcome to my channel, and I'm posting this video a week late, basically, because I wasn't feeling very motivated to make anything last week, and so I'm just going to make this video today. Well, it's the video that I should have posted last week, so you're getting 2 videos this week. So following with the schedule of Pride Month, I'm going to tell you guys about 10 LGBT legends everybody should know about. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and let's get to it. Number 1 is RuPaul Charles, or just RuPaul. RuPaul is probably the most famous drag queen ever. She got her break when she appeared in the Love Shack music video by the B-52s. And from there she went on to hosting television, she hosted radio shows, and she, of course, released her own music, which is, you know, Supermodel, CoverGirl, that's like the early stuff, but she has so many albums. She has a very prolific music career. She's most known because she started RuPaul's Drag Race, which is a very popular reality TV show about drag queens who basically compete against each other for a crown. Through that show, she basically changed the face of drag, and she completely changed the game of what it means to do drag. And so drag queens now are not just limited to the nightlife, they can also, you know, do meet and greets, they can also be celebrities, and all of that is thanks to RuPaul, mostly. The second person I wanted to talk about is Harvey Milk. Harvey Milk was a very well-known gay rights activist. He moved from New York City to San Francisco in 1972, and he ran for public office many times, but he was finally elected for public office in San Francisco. He was part of the board of supervisors, and he was elected in 1977. He stayed in office for 11 months before he was murdered in 1978. The third person I wanted to talk about is Gilbert Baker. Gilbert Baker was a gay rights activist who served in the US military from 1970 to 1972, and he moved to San Francisco after that, where he met Harvey Milk, and where he learned to sew and made flags and signs for protest. And so because of that, in 1978 he designed the original gay flag, which included more colors than the one that's, you know, generally used today. It also included hot pink, and it also included teal, but the colors were eventually removed for manufacturing and practical reasons. But yeah, he basically helped define the modern LGBT movement, and he actually died just this year in March 31st. Now, the fourth person I wanted to talk about is Tracy Africa Norman. She was the first black transgender woman to appear on a bottle of Clairol in the 70s. She had a very hard early life, and because her dad was suffering from cancer, and when she finished high school she came out as transgender, and her family accepted it pretty well, and she became a model, you know, through a very funny anecdote. She attended a fashion show, and she followed some black models who were walking into a hotel, and it actually was for an interview for the Italian version of Vogue, the magazine, and she landed the job. And I think, don't quote me on this, but I think they didn't find out she was transgender until later on. So the fifth person I wanted to talk about is probably my favorite from this list, It's Howard Ashman. As you guys might or might not know, I'm a huge Disney fan, and Howard Ashman was a Disney animator around the late 80s and early 90s. He teamed up with Alan Menken. Howard Ashman animated The Little Mermaid. That was his first movie with Disney. Later on, he started animating for Beauty and the Beast. He got AIDS in the middle of the production of Beauty and the Beast. Basically, he couldn't see the final product, I think. This was a very hot topic this year because of the Beauty and the Beast remake, and with all the gay representation debate with the first openly gay Disney character, which would be LeFou. He died at age 40 of AIDS-related complications, and he died before Aladdin was released. And but he did participate with some songs. So a lot of people say that Beauty and the Beast actually is a metaphor for loving somebody with AIDS. The person with AIDS being the beast, and the rose having its petals fall is the person dying. So moving on, the next person I wanted to talk about was Bayard Rustin. Bayard Rustin was a leader of the early civil rights movement. He was the advisor of Martin Luther King, and he learned about peaceful resistance from working with Mahatma Gandhi's movement, and so he taught that to Martin Luther King. This was during early 20th century. So there was a lot of controversy, and there was a lot of problematic with Rustin being gay. According to him, my being gay was not a problem for Dr. King, but a problem for the movement. And he also said, "It is difficult for me to know what Dr. King felt about gayness, except to say that I'm sure he would have been sympathetic and would not have had the prejudicial view. Otherwise, he would not have hired me. He never felt it necessary to discuss that with me." So everybody take from that what you want, but those are the facts. The next person I wanted to talk about was somebody, we're going way back in time. It is the poet Sappho. Sappho was a classic poet, and she was from a wealthy family in Lesbos, which is an island, a Greek island. She's mostly known for writing love poems about other women, but her sexuality is actually still a debate among scholars. And so in any case, the terms lesbian and sapphic came to be thanks to her. So regardless of what she actually was, she did contribute a lot to gay culture, and especially to lesbian culture. So last but not least, the three people that I want to talk about are actually sort of in the same segment. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about three more people, and I'm going to tell you guys. This is about the Stonewall riots. The Stonewall riots were basically the beginning of the modern gay rights movement. It happened in New York, near the Stonewall Inn, which is now a historical place. And there was a riot there, which basically is considered the first gay pride. But there's basically sort of a controversy around who threw the first brick during the riot, and so we have three possible people who could be that person. The first one is Jackie Ormona, who was a middle-class white gay man. According to some historical accounts and some scholars, he was the one to start the riots, but take that with a pinch of salt. The next one that I wanted to talk about was Storm DeLarvery. She was a black lesbian drag queen, and she is also said to be the first person to throw a brick during the riots. And according to those accounts, she urged the crowd to get involved. And so she kind of was the star. She was the person responsible for the riots. But again, take that with a pinch of salt because it's history, and I don't know if there's a way to know what really happened, but I'm just stating what I found while researching the topic. Okay, and the last person, and probably the most important LGBT legend, is Marsha Paid No Mind Johnson, or Marsha P. Johnson. She was a black trans drag queen who canonically was the first person to throw a brick at the Stonewall riots. She died at age 46 in New York because her body was found in the river, and to this day it's still unsolved. People still don't know what happened to her. Well, nobody knows, but we all know. Anyway, so these three people are the main ones that are set to start the Stonewall riots, even though my bets are on Marsha P. Johnson. But I just wanted to let people know that there are some other versions of that story. Anyway, so that makes 10 LGBT legends that everybody should know about. As you might have noticed, people of color have played a very important role inside the LGBT community's history. So if any white gay person is watching this, just remember that LGBT people of color have played a very important role in our history, so think twice before you dismiss them. Okay, so we're going to wrap up the video here, but I want to hear from you guys. I want to know who is your favorite LGBT icon and why. Let me know in the comments. Is it the Babadook? Is it Carly Rae Jepsen? Is it Fat Pikachu? Let me know. So that's all from me. I hope you guys have a very gay day, and I will see you guys on Friday with a brand new cover. Have a good week and bye!